Hi everyone, welcome to a special edition of Marketing Minutes by Scuba Diving Industry Magazine.
And today we're pleased to have a special guest, Carl Hamouche from Fog X. Welcome, Carl.
Hello, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Carl, first of all, welcome. What inspired you to develop FogX?
So obviously we all have issues with fog. So I come from the swimming world. I was a swim coach, and kids are in the water 2 hours a day, and the anti-fog on the goggles never lasts. So
Right.
we developed a film to help with that, and then now we're in the scuba world, and the response has been even better with the scuba world because swimmers, they kind of stare at a black line. They're not really going into the water to see stuff, but divers and snorkelers, I mean, that's the whole point of going underwater is to see things clearly and to see things clearly. And
Right.
if you have a foggy mask, then it just ruins the whole experience, right?
Totally.
So that's kind of our invention to fix that problem, and that's our tagline because we think that the world is worth seeing clearly.
That's awesome.
So let me ask you a question. What is the technology behind it? How did you figure out this piece of film would actually work?
Yeah, obviously there's been anti-fog solutions for a long time. Most people will say you just spit in your mask, which is, I don't know, I'm not a big spitter myself. There's the baby shampoos, there's all kinds of,
Right.
defogger that you put in. Most of that stuff at some point will wash off. Even if it does work, which I don't think it works quite as well, even if it does, it washes off, it gets into the environment, and then you have to haul around something else. You have to remember to do it, right? If
Right.
you don't forget, if you forget to spit in your mask and you're underwater, you can't go back and do it again. So we wanted to do something that was a little more permanent. And so we designed these films. The way they work is it's very counterintuitive. They're actually hydrophilic. So what fog is, if you were to zoom in on the glass, it's little beads of water, right? They sit on the surface of the glass, and it kind of deflects the light that's going in, and so you don't see a clear picture. And what our films do is actually it's hydrophilic, so it attracts water, and instead of a bead forming, it flattens everything out. And
Oh,
so you can
interesting.
look directly through the film or through
Wow.
the thin layer of water, and you don't get that diffraction of light, and so you have a clear vision.
So I actually used these. Carl was kind enough to send us a sample pack, and we were diving down in Curaçao back in January and had an opportunity to test it. And I didn't take the time to actually apply it properly. I kind of just did it on the beach, with a pair of nail clippers. So
Yeah.
I think there's probably a little bit of a technique to make sure you get it nice and smooth in there, but it sure worked great.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
incredible. Now, Carl, are there any specific types of dive masks that FogX works best for, or maybe are best suited for?
Um, we tried to create designs that would fit the majority of masks, and even now, like we're working on a few more prototypes for this year to be a little more better for certain other masks. There's not like a type of mask that works. As long as the film will stick in there, it'll work. The big trick with these is you want to find the size that's going to work best for you. So right now we have like six sizes. There's like three
Awesome.
single frames, three double frames, but they're all trimmable. So the first thing you do is you just kind of figure out what's closest and make sure it's going to fit. And then if you need to, you can cut them to size. And then to answer your question, William, if you had trouble on the beach, I'll tell you how we put these in. So
Okay.
they come with protective layers on each side. So you peel off, there's little tabs and you peel them off, and there's a middle sheet. That's what actually goes in the mask. Sticky side goes down, and once it's in there, we have a little squeegee that comes with each package, and so you can push out the bubbles and get rid of them as much as possible. And then the real trick here is because it's hydrophilic and it likes water, before every dive or like during a dive, if you forgot to, just get the film wet and you kind of rub the water in there, and that will create that flat surface of water that you can see through. And anytime water gets in the mask, or if you're sweating and there's condensation, the more water on the film, the better it's going to work.
Wow.
Wow.
So
That's incredible.
what's been the industry response to this new innovation?
It's been amazing, actually. We went to DEMA last year in Las Vegas, and we were kind of like new kids on the block, like nobody had heard of us. and for 4 days, like the booth was full all the time.
That's
Anytime
crazy.
I asked somebody passing by, like, "Hey, do you have trouble with fog?" and the number one response was like, "Who doesn't? Who doesn't have trouble with it?" And so they'd come, they'd hear the speech, and just like be amazed. And
Boy,
and
that's great.
online, it's been great. Like I just got a message right now about somebody asking like, what's the design that's going to work best with my mask. Every week or two I get somebody who is trying to be like kind of an influencer or like make videos, or they have a following, like, "Hey, I want to try your mask," or "I did try your mask. This is amazing. I've never had something work like this." Especially the I know you were in kind of hot water, but in ice water, we have like a partner, Dive with Laura. She's a Swiss girl who does cold water diving. These are the only things that work. I had another guy in Wisconsin. He does ice diving. These are the only things that work for him. We got Brent Dives that does cave diving. So he puts this on his primary and secondary mask, and it works great in the secondary mask because it's out there in the water, so it's hydrated. And then the surface of these is like super, super tough. You can take your nail to it, try to scratch it, nothing gets scratched. It lasts well over a year. We're not really sure how long it lasts because they never seem to run out. So the response has been amazing, and I'm surprised, but when I think about it, I'm not surprised, right? Because again, you set up a big trip, you get all your diving equipment ready, you're on the boat, you get into the water, and if all you see is fog, like that defeats the whole purpose. And so
Right.
this really helps everybody have an enjoyable experience. You don't have to keep, flushing your mask.
No,
You
it's
can
a huge
actually,
hassle.
you
Yeah,
actually,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, do you have a dealer program or a wholesaler program, I assume, for dive shops?
Oh yeah, for sure. We're always looking to pick up more shops. So on our website, fogxsolutions.com, there's a section at the top that says join the team, and there's like a dealer tab. So if you click on it, there's a video of me explaining how you sign up to be a dealer, which is pretty straightforward. It's just um, an online questionnaire, then you sign a dealer agreement. And then when you log into our website, it'll automatically unlock your dealer pricing or distributor pricing. So we have a couple tiers based on who you are. And then just like any other website, you add to cart, check out, and we'll send it to you. We there's no minimum order quantity, so we know that this is new, that this is people have to they feel like they're taking a risk, and we want them to
Right.
feel like they're not doing that. So if you're not happy, we'll give your money back. If you order more than $20 worth, it's free shipping in the US. And then if you're a shop or a dealer, we will send you at least
Oh, nice
one or
display.
more of these like kind of tabletop
Right.
displays to kind of explain things to your customers and get them interested. And you kind of upsell, with every mask you upsell one of these films. And actually, I do want to mention one thing. One of the questions that we got at DEMA was, do I need to burn my mask or scrub it with toothpaste anymore? The answer is no. We're going to get away from that with FogX. So you just get a new mask, make sure it's kind of clean, and then you put in the films, hydrate it before you go in the water, and you're done. And it
That's
just stays in
amazing.
That's
there, and,
awesome.
and it works great.
Well, Carl, thanks for coming on the show and thanks for talking with us. Britton, who do we got queued up for Monday?
Yes, make sure you guys tune in April 7th. We're going to have Jim Gunderson from the training agency SCI speaking about their 7-week open water course.
Yeah, just to put it in perspective, most people go through a 4 to 7 day course.
Right,
It's
right.
really
I
interesting.
personally took about a week-long class, so.
Yeah, that'd be great. Well, thanks again, Carl, and appreciate giving us all the insights on FogX.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate
All
it.
right. See you, everybody. Tune in tomorrow.